Hey guys, so I have a card share for you today. More Christmas cards. I'm making my way through the few that I actually have to make. Not few, but I usually do about 20, 25, somewhere in that range, sometimes 30, depending. So I got a chance to play with some new stuff, or stuff that I've had in my stash and not broken out before. This is a Paper Tray ink stamp set. This was just released this month? No, September. And then this is using the mix and matte die from Paper Tray ink, and then one of the other coordinating, I don't even know what you call it. It's not a die because it doesn't cut the shape, it only does the impression. And then I use some May Arts twine. This one's the natural color, but I have it in red too. Here on the front, and this embossing folder in the back is, I think it's a Tim Holtz one. Yep, it's this one right here. And then I used my hybrid ink to bring in the snow, what is it called? Fresh snow from Paper Tray, to highlight the areas of the embossing. So that is the what do you call it, card I made. This is the ink that I used for that. And here is the inside sentiment. This is from a different stamp set than this one, because this one just is like a $5 stamp set that you get this in. And it's actually two pieces, so this top part and then this bottom part are separated, so you can actually stamp them separately. I used the same stamp set, made another card because I had, what do you call this? Another embossing folder, or a piece of paper embossed, and it's red, but I don't know if you can see it's pretty faint on the embossing. This is the reverse side. So like if you open the card, you can see it. It's the positive side, and then this is more like the negative, so it's a little bit more faint. I didn't use any ink on it just because I wanted to see what the less texture would look like. Same thing, same concept. This is Stampin' Up! Paper from Cherry Cobbler color. Same ink color as well. And originally I did not do a very good stamp impression of it, so I just used my Stampin' Write marker to go over the lines that were kind of faint, because I didn't use my stamp positioner to do this originally. I just used it on a block. Here's another one. I used a snowflake embossing folder, and again went over it with the white and used some of the Stampin' Up! Ribbon that I got this year. It's also the Cherry Cobbler, but I like this little stitching, cross-stitching detail on it. And there's a different stamp there. And this is another one. Same stamp, but different, you know, paper. This is some digital paper that you're seeing that I printed out on my wide format printer, and I cut it with a die from Paper Tray ink. It's called the brushed cutouts or something like that, and it's a rectangle, but they do have it in other shapes, and you get two different sizes. So I inked the edges. This is a Richard Garay embossing folder that I found at Hobby Lobby, and then I used some jute twine from Target here for this one. And this one is embossed with white embossing powder, using that stamp you saw previously. Okay, and then the last one, I know I shared this one on Facebook because it didn't look like this originally. I used this snow embossing folder, which didn't quite look right to me when I did this. And Amanda Pepper suggested I add some lace to it, so I did, and it looks much better than it did before. It is the same idea. This is an oval of the shape of the brushed cutaway. I don't know what it's called. And then I used a Tim Holtz stamp to stamp the sentiment here. And then this is just some glossy Nouveau drops that I put on top here. And this one uses the same stamp. It's a little hard to see. I didn't emboss this one. Instead, I was going to emboss it, and I put the Versamark down, but it was offset a little bit, so it made it like a little shadow. I don't know if you can see that very well. So I just thought that was kind of neat with the Versamark effect, and I just left it the way it was. So You can see it much better when you're not on camera, but or when I'm looking through the phone to see that. But yeah, I thought these turned out really nice, so I made what, 5 more cards? Yeah, 5 more cards. Getting there. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back. Bye.